Hey there, everybody. Welcome. This is week 2 of The Circle, season 2. We're going episodes 5 through 8 here. Don't worry. At no point during this, there's not going to be a makeup challenge. Nobody's going to get called out or embarrassed. It's all good because I would suck at that. We have so much to talk about here.
Yeah, there's some, fun twist, and then a twist that's kind of made us a little bit like, I don't know, and then a challenge that has made us really salty, and we'll get into that as well, so get ready for some salt.
This is the best of times, this is the worst of times for The Circle. There will be anger, joy, maybe a little bit of tears, I don't know, we'll see how things go throughout all this, but okay, before we dive in to all of this craziness, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel because you don't need to be a joker over there not hitting that button. You want to be on board with the rest of our coverage moving forward. So
also, if you don't want to be an extra joker, go over to our Instagram and hit the follow there, which is Matt and Jess TV.
Yeah. Exactly. This is how we win people over, by basically calling them names if they don't do what we want. Okay, where do we begin? We start with the Joker.
Yeah, let's start with the first twist.
Okay.
So the idea is that Courtney was picked for this twist where he gets to go into the inner circle and he gets to become the Joker, where he's got a lot of power here. One of them is that he gets to talk to the 2 new people that have come into the circle first, anonymously. And he sort of tries to make it seem like he's Emily, which was brilliant. He's a really, slick player in that way. He's done a lot of sort of, maneuvering around with people. It was really, really smart. Then they also gave him, a superpower to pick one of the influencers, which I hated.
Yeah, no, that's no good. Too much power.
Way too much power.
Are you disappointed that at no point did Courtney explain as the Joker how he got those scars? Because I'm a little bit, okay, listen, I can reference a not even that old, an oldish Batman movie in here, but
if you're going to, you have to pick the best Batman movie that has the best Batman, and we all know that's Michael Keaton. Okay. Leave in the comments if you think that it's not Michael Keaton, and we will have a knife fight.
Clearly, they loved him enough to bring him back in the DCEU, so I cannot have that argument. Right. But, okay. The thing about these new players is if I am Kat and if I am Mitchell, and we'll talk a lot more about them, but here is this person called the Joker who is trying to tell me information. At no point am I believing any of this nonsense that this person is throwing my way.
No, calling him the Joker right away already makes it feel like they're not trustworthy. I was surprised with the name because it's at that point it is difficult for Courtney to kind of, you don't know who's on the other side of this. You're brand new to the game. Their name is the Joker, so already it's kind of like,
It's an interesting idea of if I was the Joker, what would I do? And there's a part of me that thinks instead of just throwing people under the bus just constantly, I would just try to use that opportunity to kind of get a read on them, figure out who they are, how they'll contribute to the game, because they're not going to believe me no matter what I say.
Maybe. I mean, there's also something to be said about going in and being the Joker and being honest with them and saying, hey, you guys are new to the game, so there's this twist where I get to talk to you guys anonymously, but I am Courtney and I wanted to just get to know you guys and build some trust with you right away. If I have an opportunity to get to know you before everybody else, I'm going to take this opportunity to actually get to know you before everyone else. But instead, he threw Taralisha under the bus. He threw Chloe under the bus. He pretended to be Emily. Also a good move. I mean, it did end up losing. We lost Taralisha, who I love.
Taralisha's demise in this, it was a slow-moving train. We knew where this was ending. She had no real recourse, ultimately, after everything that had happened already.
Yeah, it's tough with this game in general, because it was the same last season, too. It's sort of, whenever there's a little bit of turbulence, the circle players all just get that person out. It's just they all have to live together, so they don't want to live in turbulence. So if you're going to cause any problems, you're just going to go. And since it was like that last season, I'm not surprised that Taralisha just kind of couldn't right the ship. And it sucked for her too, because she so much wanted to right the ship that all she was focused on was that fight and what happened. She didn't really sort of move past it and sort of smooth things over in another way to be like, hey, actually get to know the real me and not all the stuff that happened with Savannah.
Oh, wait, I'm getting an alert. I think Taralisha is about to come onto this video and tell us that she wants us to get to know the real her. And it's like, okay, Taralisha, I loved you on this show. You were so great to watch, but it was also like, she could not have a conversation for longer than like a minute without bringing it back up. This was sort of like a little bit Big Brother 22-ish, not to bring back any memories of this season, where David could not stop bringing up people like, did you use the power on me? Did you? When he used it on himself, it's like Taralisha. Taralisha's a much better player than David, mind you.
Yes.
But it's just she could not get unstuck from that situation.
And I get it. This happens. You're in the game. You finally get accepted to the show. You're put in the game. You're sitting in an apartment by yourself, thinking yourself to death, because that's all you really can do besides, cook or play with the light board. Like, there's not a lot for you to do except think yourself to death. So I get why she was then put into sort of that frame of mind. Then she's finding out about the Joker. It's making it feel worse. It was just tough.
And Courtney, ultimately, he got everything he wanted this time around. Like,
yeah, he picked River as influencer. He got influencer. He got Taralisha out.
Yeah.
He couldn't stop talking about sort of this revenge for Savannah. So I'm glad that's over too, because that was starting to get a bit on my nerves as well.
I was getting very over Courtney with the constant, like, I must avenge you, Savannah. It's like, dude, you had like one conversation with Savannah. You knew her for a very brief period of time.
Yeah, you're still in the game. Like, don't let this Savannah stuff like overshadow how good of a player you already were. And now you're starting to right the ship. Yeah. So that's all right too.
Let's talk about the new players now for a moment, because we have very strong feelings about Kat, as in we love her.
She is so funny and very smart, very perceptive, and just kind of goofy. I just like her so much.
Yeah, like, she's endearing. She's
so endearing.
Yeah, there's just something about her energy. I want to think that she'll be around for a little while. And, I will say this about Mitchell as well. Like, I just thought Mitchell was going to be this bruh, like, hey, look at me, look at my abs, look at my you-know-what up there on the picture, I'm so handsome, but, like,
Is he, though?
Well, he thinks he is, and this is the thing. He is more perceptive than I would have given him credit for.
He is very perceptive. When he first came out, I was just like, oh, God, like, this is not the type of person I'm interested in watching on this show. Well, you can't do that with your shirt on.
Okay, well, no, I'm not subjecting people to that. That is Mitchell with the flexing,
No, but that's the thing. It's like, I just find that stuff really obnoxious, sort of. I'm not a prude or anything, but just, your shirt is always off. You're always flexing. Every picture is you basically looking in a mirror at how amazing and how handsome and whatever. So at first I was kind of like, okay. Then they introduced that he was like, I think he's the brother of Ed and his mom from last season, who were kind of duds.
Yeah, they were terrible.
But he is not. And he redeemed himself. He is very, very perceptive. When they had that game where you could put up extra pictures of yourself, and he put up that picture of him in the buff showing his cake, I was just kind of like, wow, that's so bold. But those pictures work. If you guys remember from last season, Sammy did the same thing. Not exactly the same, but sort of same. She put out a very sort of risque picture, and at first I was just like, oh, I'm not sure if that's going to work. And even she was like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to put it all out there. And it really worked, where people felt, I don't know, like they were really getting to know her. Like, she's not holding anything back. They like that boldness of her. So when he did it, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh no, is this going to go badly or is this going to work out? And it worked out so well. Exactly the same.
I am about to have a larger conversation about cake than I ever thought I would have on this channel. But, here's the thing. Because usually the only cake I want to talk about is, like, red velvet, chocolate,
No,
lemon.
we're talking about Mitchell's cake.
But see, the thing about
the bakery.
Mitchell's cake and opening the bakery is a great way to be like, see, I'm not a catfish. Because I just sort of feel like it is a lot harder to post somebody else's picture from the bakery than it is sort of, this is me, I'm putting it out there, and I just think that is such a bold move. People probably bought in right away of, okay, this is probably Mitchell. I'm seeing a lot of Mitchell. Clearly there are no prudes in the circle this season.
But also it gives everyone a bit of sort of a laugh and a nervous laugh about it sort of thing, because everybody had that sort of like, funny chuckle over it, and it loosened everybody up. It was a really smart game move.
Okay, now that we're all loose, we're enjoying ourselves. We, if only we had a real cake here to enjoy. But okay, let's all get collectively upset now and talk about Makeup Challenge Gate, aka the demise of Jack.
Okay, this challenge really pissed me off, and the reason why is because not everybody understands makeup. This is something that is, typically reserved for women or men in makeup and stuff like that. Not everybody has experience with this. This isn't like we're going to have a painting challenge, and if you're bad at it, it doesn't matter, because everybody's, going to either have played with paint or not played with paint. There's nothing that's really going to hit home with something like that. Or they did a cake challenge where they all had to bake a cake and then do whatever, and it was just kind of like, again, everybody's a little more familiar with baking or being in the kitchen or something like that. But when it comes to makeup, things are a little more specific. And as soon as that came out, you could see it all over Jack's face. He just knew he was going to be exposed. There was no way around this for him.
I have all of the sympathy in the world for Jack as someone who I would have done worse than he did on that mannequin. Because it is hard if you don't know what you're doing. And I'm sure there are a couple naysayers out there that are just sort of like, well, if he was going to play a 21-year-old college, student or whatever, then he should have studied this. But my counter of that would be, okay, sure. Study, like, he did a bad job answering, like, what makeup brand does Emily like?
Sure.
Like, yes, I understand that, but how are you going to predict that there's going to be a challenge about you having to put makeup on someone's face with some ridiculous Jonathan Van Ness, like, cross-show promotion thrown in there?
Yeah, please stop with this cross-promotion of these shows. That is also pissing me off. I'm really over it.
Okay, but here's the question, though. If they had used Karamo instead of Jonathan Van Ness, would you have been okay with it? So, okay, we have that. That is what we call the catch-22 of this video.
No, I would not want it. I'm really over the cross-promotion. It's just got to stop. Let the circle be the circle. And we don't need these sort of other shows popping in. But it was really a dirty, dirty thing that the circle did to Jack. Because, I mean, even Trevor was going to be able, if, she wanted to not do as good of a job as she did, she could have played that to be like, oh, I'm a dude, I'm going to be, maybe a bit worse. And it was surprising that not a lot of people called that out.
Yeah.
I mean, he still could have said, listen, I've got a little girl, make up a lie, oh, the mom's not around. I want to be prepared for anything that needs to come up with my little girl when she grows up. So I learned some stuff so I could be there. And everybody would be like, collective, right? Okay, but Jack can't do that.
Yeah. Like if I was playing this part of Trevor here, I would do not what Taralisha did. I would have
oh my goodness,
gone like,
it looks so good.
Yeah, I would have done okay. Like I wouldn't have tried to make it horrible, but I would have at least toned it down just a little bit. But yeah, Jack, from the moment this came out,
everyone knew.
Yeah, I tried a lot to think about, okay, what could he have done? Could he have just sort of said, I don't really wear makeup all that much?
Yeah, the only thing, because even afterwards, he didn't do that much sort of fixing of the situation. And the only sort of thing I could think of is because they've only seen one or two pictures. They had the couple with the game, but her picture has makeup on. But she's also come across where she's like, I'm a space nerd.
Yeah.
You know, it was only maybe 5 years ago that I even started playing with makeup a little bit. I didn't wear very much. If I was in that challenge at 21, I wouldn't have known what to do with that. So maybe he could have said something like that. Listen, I don't do a lot of makeup. I chose this picture because my sister did my makeup and I thought it looked really good. And normal me, you know, is more no makeup girl. And I just didn't want to put that kind of picture up. People may have believed that.
He could have done something more than what he did. Like, he didn't offer much explanation.
He just rolled around on the floor and cried.
I know.
I was like, oh, dude.
I appreciate, like, this guy clearly knew how much just, like, production screwed him over in that moment. Like, you don't see it on the edit, but I guarantee you at some point he was just, like, yelling at production for what they did to him in this moment.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Dirty circle.
Hashtag dirty circle, everybody.
So dirty. Okay. They really did him dirty.
Yeah, like, I felt bad for him, but ultimately, there is a twist.
Yes, which is why I think the circle did him dirty.
Yeah.
So they ended up having like a double blocking sort of thing where Chloe, back in the number one spot. She's in such a good spot. She's in like a Kardashians alliance with River and Courtney. So she's got those two. She's, you know, best friends with Emily. So she has Emily. Then she's got this relationship going on with Trevor. Like, she is playing this game so well.
I love so much the idea that, like, Chloe is now tethered into this, like, weird showmance with Trevor, who she kind of thinks might not be a guy. And then at the same time, Mitchell's, like, tethered with Emily, who he knows is probably not Emily. It is, like, the weirdest, like, catfish love triangle, rectangle, or whatever this is. It is so funny. This is what I like the circle for, where it's just so ridiculous and you have to keep playing along with it.
Okay, so we had a double blocking, and it was Emily and Lance. And I think no one out there is probably surprised by this. I mean, Lance, played by Lisa, has not really been doing a very good job. I don't think anyone really believes that it's Lance. I mean, I know River Lee wants to believe that it's Lance, but I don't think anyone actually does. And outside of that, she just hasn't done a very good job building any connections with anybody. She's been kind of a dud. Sorry, Lisa.
Lance was bad. Lance was bad casting. Like, this is the problem with this, is that clearly the circle, they wanted to do this gimmick where they had someone impersonating a celebrity, but you probably needed to get the celebrity to approve it in order for it to happen, and so they just so happened to find Lisa. It's a great gimmick for the promo.
Yep.
There was nothing else here. She didn't make Lance interesting at all. Like, the only controversy was Cat Jacket Gate, where, you know, she was able to figure out that, okay, I made up this sort of story here. I caught Lance in a lie. It's like, great. Well, congratulations. I still know nothing about Lance because clearly Lisa did not want to give him any personality at all.
No, and it was sort of, it made me feel like she was just worried to make him look bad in any kind of way because she works for him. And I'm sure she also is friends with him or has a relationship with him.
Yeah. I think it's something, that's something like that, but it really tripped everything up.
Yeah, so they got blocked, and then they went to go see someone where they ended up together in a room, and now they are someone new.
My favorite line of these entire 4 episodes is Jack seeing this picture of this dude with the mustache and saying, "Who the blank is that guy?" Like, it was... Can we name this man? I'm sure they will name him in episode 9.
Yeah.
I am calling him Vern because he looks like a Vern. I am great at giving people terrible old man names.
Well, everybody gets an old man name. Yeah. It does not matter how old you are.
Yeah, like this is a Vern though. He's, you know, with respect to the late great Wilford Brimley, like he's got like the mustache thing going on. I would have so much fun playing this character.
I'm very curious what River is going to do, because he's an older guy in the circle playing a younger guy, but just the same, he may be sort of wanting to gravitate towards him because it's like, oh, it's another person who's, you know, a bit older here in the circle. So I'm curious to see if maybe that will help them a bit. But I'm expecting that Jack is just going to take the reins on this entire thing, and Lisa's not going to really give a lot to that, and I'm fine with this.
I would probably get exposed so soon as a catfish if I was this guy, because I would go full, like, method. I would be like Daniel Day-Lewis as this character, because I would just be like, hey there, everyone, it's me, Vern. I'm from the South. Everybody want to come to my horse ranch after the show?
You know, like, they can't hear you, right?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to ask for a special twist so that I can just...
horse ranch.
Hashtag, okay, yeah. If you enjoy this video, use hashtag Dirty Circle and hashtag Horse Ranch at the end of all of this. Oh my God. This is... What a weird season. I love this twist, though. This twist is going to be so much fun because they have no idea what they're doing. They're having to make all of this up on the fly.
No, this is a good twist. I hate that, you know, Jack, Emily got screwed because they were playing a pretty good game. And I was looking forward to sort of seeing if he could actually win this whole thing. He had made a lot of really good connections, too. So I was kind of like, oh, man, this is so... crappy, and I was really disappointed. This twist is really exciting, but I wish that Emily wasn't there. But that's what it felt like. Production needed to ensure that a catfish went.
Yeah, and they did that, and I'm assuming that everyone in the circle, they will all hear the videos from Jack and Lisa and not suspect anything about Vern here or Vern. Wouldn't it be funny if this Vern guy was like the lighting coordinator or somebody on the crew? Really. And he's like, y'all gotta use all my pictures now for this? Okay, well, we're excited to see what's gonna be coming up next on The Circle.
Yep.
Next week, we will be here. We will break it down. Hopefully more consistently good twists across the board.
Yep.
What did you guys think about these episodes? Do you think Jack was robbed by Makeup Gate? Are you going to miss Taralisha? Who are you rooting for? Let us know, and if you like this...
Cat.
See, I will get on board with that. I do love Cat. Cat is spectacular.
Yeah, she is.
If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, and also give us a like. Support us further. We have links in the description to the store, our Patreon. We'll see you here next time.